Nashty crew, it's Nikki here. Welcome back to another week of Talk Nashty to Me. We have some fun stuff to discuss this week. We are talking a new album from an artist that I am keeping a watchful eye on, as well as social media's new chosen country it sound. But before we get started, it would make me so happy if you guys liked and subscribed. That's the only way I can continue to make this content for you guys and talk about country music and what's going on here with life in Nashville and all the fun stuff. I actually just got back from a trip to Red Rocks to see Shane Smith and the Saints, and it was the most incredible trip I have ever been on, the most incredible concert venue. I mean, that show was insane. And I tried to record there, but I was in this room and they had like weird lighting and I had to sit on the floor, and it was like an interesting thing. So this is actually the first time recording in my new setup, which it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Right now it's all kind of like piecemealed together, like centipeded together. Have you ever seen The Human Centipede? I don't know, maybe that's probably the wrong analogy. Whatever, I'm sure you've seen it, but that's gross now I'm thinking about it. Okay, so this week we are diving into the album of the artist that I'm talking about, and that artist is Ian Munsick. If you have not heard of him yet, you need to go listen to his stuff. He released about a month ago a new album titled White Buffalo. That is probably the album that I have recently listened to all the way through a couple of times, and we'll discuss why. But like I said, if you don't know him yet, you should. He sort of rose to prominence when he did a duet with Cody Johnson, Long Live Cowgirls. It has over 40 million streams on Spotify. Absolutely love that one. That one is on the album. This is his sophomore album. He released one before called Coyote Cry, and it was also good too, but this one I'm really interested in. He is an artist that's making a different way in country music. We can discuss the whole mainstream versus classic versus indie. We can have that conversation at some point, but he is someone who's bringing a really unique sound to country music. So he lives here in Nashville, but he's actually from Wyoming. So he has a little bit of authenticity that he's bringing to this music. He lives what he sings. He actually worked on a ranch there in Wyoming. And I had the pleasure of going to see him at Old Red on Broadway in Nashville when he did his album release party, and he is an incredible performer. So his sophomore album that we're talking about right now is White Buffalo. Now, Ian's relatively new to my country repertoire. I found him on Spotify not too long ago. He came up as a recommended artist, but his sound is so unique. He brings that Western element to a lot of what he does. I mean, not all of his songs are my cup of tea. A lot of them have that poppy sound. Some of them are a little bit more parodic, a parody. They're slightly less serious than some of the things that I'm more interested in. A lot of these songs are bringing some really unique and interesting cultural, Western, Native American feel, sound into them. It's that Western nostalgia. It's that nod to Native American culture. He brings a lot of falsetto ooze into his sound, which is very unique and personalized to him, and it should signify a coyote cry. That is sort of the imagery that we're looking for whenever he's making those sounds in a song. My favorite song on this album is the title track, White Buffalo. It has such a great story to it. I really suggest you guys go listen to it and follow him really closely. Him and his wife, Caroline, who's also his manager, are so fun to follow on social media. It really makes you feel like that musician relationship could work. I mean, they work together. She's his manager. Anyway, he's definitely an up-and-coming artist on my radar. You should go check him out. And next, country music's new chosen it sound on social media. If you are a fan of Zach Bryan and you followed him throughout his social media rise, before his arguable mainstream days, this trajectory that he was on social media was absolutely incredible. Many times, every couple months or so, social media will find a new it sound that they bring out and blow up and make completely popular. His sound that is generating a ton of new artists, and new artists are taking that sound and making them their own. It's a sound that we're just seeing over and over and over, and a lot of different new artists stuff because they think it's gonna get them views because that's what's popular right now. That's what's trending. One of these artists is Sam Barber. He is TikTok's new chosen it country music superstar on the rise. A lot of his songs do sound like Zach Bryan. A couple of them people have mistaken for Zach Bryan's songs. However, he does a very interesting thing where he definitely puts his own spin on this, but he uses his songs with the Zach Bryan sound to get him views whilst then plugging in his own unique stuff into the mix that people can listen to after they found him. Pretty genius if you ask me. His couple of songs, Drowning and Straight and Narrow, have been just on a social media rocket ship. He had around 650,000 monthly listeners on Spotify and about 450,000 followers on TikTok. As of this day that I'm recording, he now has about 650,000 followers on TikTok and over 2.5 million monthly listeners on Spotify. That is what his social media presence is rising him into, this crazy popularity. It's the same thing. It's like a copy paste of Zach Bryan. I'm really interested to see where this goes. Now, his song Straight and Narrow, again, when I did the script, had about 12,000 videos that it had been played in. I looked at it again right before doing this video, and it has about 67,000. If he's not the poster child for how to copy paste the Zach Bryan social media superstar rise, I don't know what is. Follow him closely, see what he does. So I'm actually curious if this is gonna keep trending with the social media folk. I mean, again, a lot of people thought he was Zach Bryan, but that's just the sound that people are into these days. I'm wondering if that's gonna stick around. I guess we'll just see what the non-mainstream underground country music fans wanna hear. All right, that's it for me this week, y'all. We'll see you next week, Nashty Crew, where we have way more fun things to talk about in the country music scene. See you then. He released. Anyway, you know, maybe that's something that we always like. Maybe that's something that all of us want. Not speaking from experience. Anyway. Am I wearing a bolo? Why, yes. Yes, I am wearing a bolo. What do you call this hairstyle? Not washed in 6 days. That's what we call it. I had to look over here. As of this day, why did my voice do that? When I'm chasing you down with the mobile bloodhounds and you're running through the field of your eye. Damn, call him up. Get me on that track, bro.